Hello, this is Steve Dean again, and I just want to talk to you once more about the nature of this illusion and oneness, time and space, and what we're actually doing here. First of all, I'd like to say, as I said before, this is a world of opposites. Everything here is split into an opposite. I've said this in my last two videos, but just to clarify it, everything here has an opposite, male and female, back to front, up and down. 3 dimensions cause everything to have this opposite. Even colours have an opposite. Like green is the opposite of orange, and so on. And yellow's the purple of purple, for example. And different shades, different purples, different oranges. They all have an exact opposite. Everything here does, except one thing: truth. Truth here doesn't have an opposite. Nothing is the opposite of truth. Someone could say, well, what about lies? They're the opposite of truth. No, they're not. Lies aren't anything. Lies are just talk of an empty nothingness. They're just nothing. Like dreams, they're just nothing. And this world, this existence is a lie. It's nothing, if you like. It's nothing in opposition to the truth of reality. Reality is oneness, just one whole, unlimited, forever, eternal, changeless thing that we can't imagine while in this current state. It goes on and on forever, so it never stops, so it never has any gaps, so there's never any separation, nothing to cross. As there's nothing to cross, there's no space, and therefore no time, as I said before. Okay. So the opposite of truth being nothing, that exactly is what this is. Truth is oneness. Oneness cannot have an opposite. Otherwise it wouldn't be oneness, would it? Would it? So therefore, what are we then if oneness can't have an opposite? How can we be its opposite? Well, the answer is it's an illusion. It's just an illusion. It doesn't exist. It's not real. Okay? In the Bible, out of interest, it says that Adam fell asleep, but it says nothing whatsoever about him waking up again. We're still within that dream. Dreaming, we're separated from the source. That's all it is. And when we go back to the truth, we go back to reality instead of the unreality, of this illusion. There is one way out of this illusion while you're here, right? And that is forgiveness. Now, we hear this all the time: forgiveness, you've got to forgive, you've got to forgive, you've got to forgive. And right, you have got to forgive. You have got to forgive. But trying to forgive all the negative actions that happens to a person all the time, it's just, how can it be done? People can't do it. The very pressures of life, living here in this experience, are so heavy. The few people can bring themselves to truly forgive in a nature that we understand forgiveness to be here. We understand forgiveness to be letting someone off with something terrible they've done. Which in a way is really sort of approving it, isn't it? Like, that's all right, sorry, as long as you've said sorry, you're forgiven. And they go off and do something else. So really that forgiveness didn't really serve much purpose, did it? No. The only forgiveness that makes any difference here, and the only one that will get you home while you're still here, is forgiveness in the form of realising that this is nothing but an illusion, a dream, and everybody in it has done nothing at all. Like the people in your nighttime dreams. They might have burnt your house down, but when you woke up, they haven't done anything, have they? You might have thought it, absolutely urgent in the dream. You've got to get that fire engine called. Just quick, Dole, the fire engine. Then you wake up, and he urged you to get the fire engine. It's not just not there, he's just, forgotten. And such is the nature of this dream we live in here. The world is opening up. In the last couple of years, or perhaps the last 10 years or so, at least, I've noticed a vast difference in people's openness of mind. I used to talk about things like this a few years back, and people wouldn't even listen to me. And now a lot of people are listening to me. A lot of them, you know. Although those monks that go and stay in those monasteries for 30 years, sitting there meditating, they're all trying to stop themselves thinking. Because thought is of this world. The illusion is what your thoughts are projected outside of you, as I said in my first video. If you're someone who feels subconsciously very guilty, then you'll project that guilt, and scenarios causing that guilt to be reflected back at you will come about around you. Because that's what this existence is. You make your own life purely by what you project out of your subconscious. And as I said before, the key is to project only love and kindness out of your subconscious, and you're there. And once you're only seeing kindness and love, it's because that's all you're projecting. It doesn't matter what's in the news. It's not really in your life unless you introduce it into it. You know, what's around you is you. And if you can get rid of every negative thought out of your mind and every even positive thought to the point where you don't think at all, like those monks in Tibet who've reached that such wonderful state of grace, where they are with the source, yet still here. That is available to all of us, just by stopping thinking long enough for us to remember who we really are. Because we can't right now, because we're so clogged up with thinking about all this stuff. And while we're thinking about Earth and everything that's on it, we're blocked off from letting the source enter us. We talk as if us finding God or the source, but really the truth is the source is looking for us and we're blocking him off. He doesn't understand negativity. He understands love. That's all he is. So positivity relates to him, whereas negativity doesn't. What keeps us here is believing that this dream is real. And for every person who says, I wonder what the meaning of life is, and you go, I'll tell you what it is. It's just a dream or an illusion. They go, ow. The door goes bang. Slams in their face. Because until they can start thinking that perhaps this may be a dream, they ain't going to get home. Not in this lifetime, nor the next one. Because the next one will come after they've been into an illusional afterlife, which seems just as real as this one, where they eventually where they eventually come back here again. I sort of understand happens in these illusional afterlives. I mean, illusional afterlives are like this illusional world. Anything can happen in them. It's when we finally realise that we are dreaming and that we actually are part of the one. We are the source. Then we can go home. And this shell that we inhabit just doesn't die forever. It is just cast off. And we walk away from it forever. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.